Yo, what's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, September 13th. Had a mixed day. Dow was down, S&P, NASDAQ up. Today was a Social Security payment day. I said that we could have a bounce. I guess you might call this a little bounce, but it didn't really seem to provide much support. Tomorrow we could see a draw, a drain, and then Friday, that's the big one because Friday is the due date for corporate quarterly tax payments. And then once we hit Friday, that'll be like a drain all through next week. Actually, if you look at these things, how they tend to play out, I mean, you get about a month worth of drain, and then it takes a while to replenish what has been drained out. That's the thing about taxes that I always, because you know, they're obviously no fun to pay. Nobody likes paying taxes. But at the macro level, when you hear economists or market, analysts talking about, oh, they're going to raise taxes, it's not so much about taxes. It's about net spending. So like, if the government is net spending, in other words, spending more than it's taken in taxes, then that just gets those tax collections get recycled back into the economy as new spending. So ostensibly, if you're productive or entrepreneurially minded, or even if you just work at a job, the fact that the government is net spending, in other words, providing dollars into the economy, then it's just going to flow back to you either directly or indirectly. So yeah, while it sucks to pay taxes, the thing to focus on is whether or not there's growth in the economy. Growth means the addition of income to the economy, and that results in more consumption and investment. So like, that's the thing you really, as an investor and as an economist, as someone who's trying to forecast, that's what I focus on. Here's the thing, and this has nothing to do with the market, but when did wearing sneakers with suits become a thing? If you want to wear sneakers, fine, no problem. I got nothing against sneakers, okay? Dress casually, wear sneakers, put on a pair of shorts, work out with sneakers, I don't care. But this trend, this is the stupidest fashion trend and most idiotic fashion trend I have ever seen, is men with suits wearing sneakers. Get yourself a freaking pair of shoes, for crying out loud. A nice pair of shoes with a nicely tailored suit. You can't do better than that. You're gonna look like $1 billion bucks. But with sneakers, it just looks so goofy and stupid. And I get it, maybe there's a comfort factor, but look, it's not comfortable wearing suits. But a good tailored suit looks sharp, and with a nice pair of shoes. Come on, ditch the freaking sneakers with suits. I don't know where that came from, but that's the most idiotic fashion trend I've ever seen. Anyway, I digress. I don't know. I've been seeing that. I've been seeing that for a long time, but I don't know, for some reason today I went past the point of being able to handle that, so I had to say something. Well, guess who's in the news again today is Larry Summers. Larry Summers, of course, he is the ultimate monetarist, neoliberal zombie that you can never kill. This guy has been a failure in everything that he has ever touched, or everything that he has ever touched has been a disaster, starting from when he was Treasury Secretary way back in the Clinton years, or maybe he was underneath Robert Rubin at that time, who was the Treasury Secretary, and Summers was pitching this whole thing about deregulating the derivatives markets, and just a whole bunch of stuff which led to disaster. It led to the the great financial crash in 2007, 2008. He was kicked out as president of Harvard. And recently he's been like the cheerleader for higher rates for the Biden administration. And I think the Biden administration just takes everything he says as, gospel. And whatever he says, they go along with it. So this genius, and by the way, I just find him to be very abrasive and sanctimonious when he speaks to people. He's just... He's a very unlikable guy. I just find him to be a very unlikable person. He's arrogant and he's pompous, and he's just a very unlikable person. But anyway, here's what he said today. He said there's three possibilities, and he's speaking about the rate outlook. There's three possibilities for the Fed. The first possibility is that they engineer a soft landing. The second possibility is that they engineer no landing. In other words, the economy keeps taking off and keeps growing faster and faster. And the third possibility is that they engineer a hard landing. So basically what he's saying, it would be like somebody saying, hey, what do you think the market's going to do? Well, it might go up, or it might go down, or it might stay right where it is. I mean, what kind of information is that? What kind of, useful, anything is that? It is not. I mean, this is, if you think about it, these are the people out there engineering policy or giving their opinions on policy, which are being followed by the White House. I mean, this is completely ridiculous. Yeah, it could be a soft landing, it could be no landing, it could be a hard landing. Okay, is there any other possibility out there? No, you basically covered all three bases. All three possibilities. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. And this is covered by the media. I mean, the media should be all over this guy for how ridiculous a comment, not only that comment, but the comments that he's made in the past. Like, he has no clue, with all his pushing for higher and higher rates. You'd think he'd say something about the economy gaining momentum behind this whole entire rate hike cycle. I mean, nothing is said about that whatsoever. So here you have another example of somebody in a very high policy position. For what reason, I have no idea, because the guy is absolutely clueless, and he's been a disaster in every position that he's been in, and every policy decision that he's ever made has turned out to be an absolute disaster. But he's like one of these zombies that you just can't kill. I mean, he's always there. I don't know what he does these days, aside from opining to the media, and that's taken to heart by the Biden administration. But I mean, I don't know where he works, if he works at all. I don't know if he has a job, but he's out there all the time. He's on all these business channels, giving interviews for the media, and this is the kind of garbage you get. It could go up, it could go down, it could stay the same. So once again, I bring to your attention the fact that there's only one useful thing that you could take from the media, and that is as a contrarian indicator. I mean, basically, the media will give you opportunities to make money by fading whatever they're talking about, or however they frame whatever it is they're talking about. And if it applies to the markets or the economy, you want to go against that. You absolutely want to go against that, because you could see the deeply, deeply embedded ignorance and kind of like a mythology that's baked into everything that they talk about. It is like a mythology. It is a body of belief that is totally inapplicable to the current reality of how things work. So I mean, if you do nothing else but to go against that, yeah, sometimes you may be going to get caught, because there's going to be some stampede of monetarists, all going in one direction. But if you could ride that out, and most of the time you're not even going to get that kind of big stampede, you'll be able to make money from going against the the prevailing view, the media view, whatever you want to call it. Because it is sheer ignorance. It is pure, unadulterated ignorance. And it's a mythology. It has nothing applicable to the current reality of how things work. Nothing whatsoever. So I bring this to your attention. Anyway, things are about to get, how should I say, a little turbulent, maybe, over the next few weeks, even the next couple of months. And remember, I told you guys that this was coming. I also have been telling you now, like I could tell you what's going ahead. Somebody, asked me, well, and I talked about this the other day. Yes, the daily Treasury statement is one day behind. That's in spite of that, it's way better than any of the data releases that the government puts out. But that's not the point. We know all these transfers and all these drains and these daily flows, they're all on the calendar. We know when they're going to be. So I can tell you right now that mid-November, this whole thing will bottom out. And we'll go into mid-December. It'll dip down again until late December. And then January, February, we're up very, very strong. I can tell you all these things in advance because we know the dates. I mean, this is all on a schedule. We know the dates when these flows and these drains are going to happen. We know what the daily flows basically are, and when you see every year or how often they do it with the budget or continuing resolutions, are there going to be spending increases? Are they going to freeze it at one level? We know all these things. So it's very, very predictable. People make it a lot harder than it is. And they go off into these weird esoteric ways to try to, predict the market that have no basis in anything. But this, what I'm telling you and what I'm teaching you, I mean, this is very, very predictable, logical, understandable. It's all out there, and the information is free. It's available, as I've said a million times, on the daily Treasury statement. I have my course on my website, Understanding the Daily Treasury Statement video course for $99. I mean, pick it up. Learn how to parse through these numbers. In any case, that's it for today. I'm looking forward to the turbulent period coming up. That's a great opportunity. Like I've been telling you guys, you want to accumulate good assets. That should be your goal throughout your entire life. I mean, if you're looking for financial independence, if you're looking to build wealth, if you're looking to build, a future or have a future for yourself, your family, your kids, you want to accumulate high quality assets. And the way to do it, I think the stock market is the best way of anything. But you have to wait. And when you see these market downturns, these are huge opportunities. I mean, take it. Don't panic. Don't sell out. Don't freak out. Don't get all scared and frightened. Reframe it in your head as something great, as a great opportunity. Make it positive, not a negative. Let all the rest of them make it a negative. You make it a positive. You'll come out a big winner. Anyway, that's it for today, folks. See you tomorrow. Bye.